with an exclusive
All right.
preview of the Flo Wrestling Vito documentary, Out of the Shadows. And I'll tell you this, it was incredible. January 31st, folks. We're here to tell you a little bit about what you have to look forward to. Do you want to start or you want me to start? Go ahead. I was very careful not to ruin anything.
I already know what your opinion is going to be because I don't know how it could be anything but what we're both going to say. First off, I always loved Flo films. But I got to tell you, whoever's doing these films, whoever the production, whoever's, like, they're super professionals. This thing was this was art, the whole film. But what really grabbed me was the story. The story behind it, it kind of, I'll tell you what it reminded me of, Zach. You remember how you get pumped up after watching Rocky? I kind of had that with this.
I also
this
wrote
is like
that in my
wrestling's
notes,
version of Rocky. When I watched that film, I was pumped up, and it was so many interesting behind-the-scenes stuff going on and stuff that, like, I don't know Mike Gray, I don't know Vito, I don't know Yanni, personally, any of them. And to get an inside look, Vito's dad, at the whole thing.
You kind of know him now. I wrote down here, it is a firsthand experience of being a wrestler at the highest level. You're literally along the ride. It feels like you are with Vito for a full year. And you get to experience the range of emotions and the trials and tribulations that he goes through, from weight changes to, you get to see the expectations that Vito deals with.
And you talk about a valuable film if you're a parent or a coach to actually show your wrestler, because you got to see some of the hurdles that Vito ran into. And we're talking about his ascent to world championship level, and that included all them upset wins over Fix and RBY. You remember going into that championship, we weren't even talking Vito.
No.
Oh, you know who Vito was? He was a very good wrestler.
Yep.
But who's going to win, Fix or RBY? And that was the conversation, and out of nowhere comes this Vito, and this really kind of this filled in all the dots. Like, how did that happen?
I wrote down, and I don't want to exaggerate here. You see the growth of a boy into a man.
Yeah.
In the midst of this year-long documentary, dude, and I have a specific moment that you actually see it, okay? And you as fans here, first of all, go watch it on January 31st, but I have a couple questions that I want to challenge our fans to see if they see the same thing, because I watched this very closely, and there's some things that I picked up on. My first question would be, who does Vito's dad remind you of? Because I watched that, and Vito's dad reminded me of someone, and I'd be interested to see who his dad, maybe if anyone, he reminds our fans of anyone. Another thing, there was a very clear turning point at the Worlds that led to Vito ultimately winning it all. Something happened before the Worlds. Vito was not going to win the Worlds, okay? Something very defining happened that you see that I thought was just eye-opening, that changed everything, dude. I thought that was fascinating. There's a moment, to me, that you see the moment in time that Vito grows from a boy into a man. You see it.
Yeah.
You see it in a clip. I want to see if you guys see that. Also, there's a next Yanni Vito. There's someone else who's in that room, who's the next one being groomed.
Yeah.
And
I know who that is, but
yeah. But you see him.
Yeah.
And one final challenge to the fans: there's two Penn State wrestlers, two Penn State big name wrestlers spotted in this film. Who are they? I don't know. I challenge you. But
well, I tell you, with this film is, first off, you got to understand, Vito's dad is a two-time world champion, Olympic bronze winner. You know, it's hard not to feel pressure. Oh, I got to keep up with dad.
But even
you
more
talk
than
about
that,
the amount of pressure that was under him, and you know the expectations and everything. I mean, it was even to have the cameras there. They were shooting this documentary with the cameras around them and stuff, and
I don't know how they did it for a whole year. How did you get that?
Well, it kind of, the behind the scenes kind of shows you how you kind of take on that kind of pressure and deal with it. And there was obviously the people around them were key. Obviously,
you get to see all of that, dude.
Yes, they were key.
The relationships that are developed. Wait till you hear what he said about Dayton Fix and RBY going into the semifinals of the NCAAs last year.
Yeah.
Wait till you hear what he said there.
But, and Vito as a personality, this is a side issue. But if you're talking about future successful head coaches down the line, does Vito not fit that? I mean, I could see Vito. Yeah, Yanni too.
How about Yanni? I mean, this is an absolute must-watch for any wrestling fan.
Yeah, I'll tell you something that you probably never even thought of. Terry brought this up, a friend of ours, and it like the light bulb clicked on. You know, when Gilman left Iowa, when Dake left Cornell, when Snyder left Ohio State and came to Penn State, you talk about potential future coaches. How do you think their resume is going to look good? That, oh yeah, I know all of Ohio State and I know Penn State too. Like, it was almost as if Cale got pickpocketed there a little bit. But I tell you, this thing with Vito is he had that. He's got his dad, and obviously Mike Gray is obviously a very good coach. That Iranian that is part of the coaching staff over there. I mean, but Yanni was a big factor. I think
Is that Frank, right?
Yeah.
Frank is that coach.
Yeah.
You get to know Frank, you get to know Vito's dad, Yanni. You get to know everyone, man. And I said it's an absolute must-watch for any wrestling fan. I'll also say this, dude. This is the kind of thing that you need to show people who aren't wrestling fans right now. Because this is the kind of thing that will get people to be wrestling fans.
Yeah.
Because this got me pumped up, dude.
Yeah, it did. It was I really enjoyed the film, and I love Flo making these films. But that was very interesting and inspiring, and I recommend
everyone go watch it.
Watch
One
it.
final thing,
Yeah.
I know why Vito lost to Crookham now. I figured that out.
Oh, really?
I figured that out. And one final thing, hey, listen, first of all, overall great documentary. Love like the cut-ins from the Flo podcast. Hey, for your future ones, guys, if you feel free to use some segments from ours, this is a Netflix approved camera, so we're good, right?
Yeah.
But hey,
I mean, I don't know why they want to, but
I'm just kidding. Hey, January 31st.
Hey, bravo, Flo. That was
Vito out of the shadows. Thanks again to Flo for allowing us an early access view. And hey, I could not encourage anyone more to go watch this, dude. Like I said, I encourage people who aren't fans of wrestling to watch this more than the fans. It's a must watch for wrestling fans, but this is the kind of thing that gets us fans. This is the kind of thing that grows the sport.
Yeah, I'm more interested in, okay, what happens now with Vito? Because I feel like I have a background knowledge of Vito.
You feel like you know Vito.
Yeah,
now.
You feel like you kind of know Vito now.
I feel like
I
I know
the
Yanni.
people in his life and stuff. And, wonder how they're dealing with that Crookham loss. And it just puts a whole new face on this as being a fan. It's
also just seeing what it takes to be at the top level. I mean, really of anything, but especially in wrestling, to be at the highest level of wrestling, see what is required on a daily basis.
Yeah.
Physically and mentally.
Yeah.
Almost more mentally.
Yeah.
Go watch it, folks.
I don't even want to, like, as we keep talking, I want to bring up
don't spill
specific stuff, and I don't want to do that.
No. That's why I wrote down very calculated notes here to make sure we
You better
don't.
shut me down, Zach.
All right, dude, go watch it.
Close.
We'll talk about it
I'm
more after
getting
the
close.
31st, but thanks again to Flo. Vito out of the shadows. This is BEG Wrestling, baby.